Welcome back to another episode of the Career Diet Podcast. I'm your host, Anna Believa, a career coach and a LinkedIn learning instructor. I am sitting down with you today to have a chat. And I brought a big cup of tea. If you're watching me on YouTube, I have a cup that's probably the size of my head and it's already dark outside. I find that it gets so dark so early this time of year, but we're doing it. We are recording even though the light is not the best right now. But I really wanted to share this episode because what we're going to talk about is a lot of what I have been coaching my clients on. And I have been feeling honestly so proud of my clients in the Start Canada program because the transformation that I see with them is a lot more than them landing interviews and offers. It's how they think about themselves, how they think about job search, how they think about their careers, how they think about employers. It's no longer pick me, choose me, please, but rather it's that inner confidence that I can do this all over again. I can go after those big roles that I always dreamt of, but I didn't think were possible for me. I can say no to opportunities that are not my dream opportunities, but getting there takes intentional actions and it takes intentional work. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Now, I am personally feeling so good this week. I'm onboarding two new team members. They joined us last week at the Career Diet HQ, and they're so good. I'm honestly so excited for 2025 at the Career Diet, and we also had an amazing coaching call inside the Start Canada program just yesterday. I'm recording this on Wednesday, so just yesterday, and the updates are blowing my mind away. Teresa is waiting right now for her dream offer, but the true Start Canada that she's not just sitting and waiting. She's continuing networking. She's continuing her job search so that she's not negotiating from the position of this is the only chance and opportunity that I have, but rather once this offer comes in, she's negotiating from the position of I have options. Let's see how far we can take this. And Sophie said that she has multiple interviews this week, so she's really focused on that. Helen just landed her dream offer in disaster management after a couple of decades in HR. And she said that she was job searching for 10 months before joining the Start Canada program and wasn't really making a lot of progress. And then in the last 5 months, she joined the program. She made this big switch in function and industry. And let me tell you, Helen got uncomfortable because she was directly reaching out to VPs at her target companies for her dream jobs. And by the way, that's how she got this interview. She was recording video messages for those VPs. She created her career portfolio. She was posting content on LinkedIn. When I tell you that you really need to go next level for those next level opportunities, that's what's happening behind the scenes. That's what people are actually doing to get those dream level opportunities. Then we have Renee. She was laid off, I believe about 7 months ago, and she joined the program in December. So it's barely been a month, and she has 5 interviews. She is interviewing for 5 opportunities. And yesterday on the call, we actually discussed what opportunity she's going to say no to because it's not the right opportunity. She said that she doesn't feel very good. She kind of felt very off having this conversation with a recruiter. So because now she is that star candidate, she can say no to opportunities. Imagine how powerful that would feel. We also had Maria. She is such a superstar. She's transitioning from consumer goods to luxury and beauty. And she has been working really hard getting in front of the right people. And now she has 2 people at her target company advocating for her to get an interview for her dream role. And again, she's pivoting industries. So it is especially going for luxury and beauty. It's a bit of a tough industry to break into, but they're advocating for her to get an interview. I can't tell you how good that feels when someone on the inside tells you, hey, you know what? I really like you. You're really good. And we need people like you. Let me help you. Let me email the hiring manager for you so that they know who you are. And I tell them that they have to meet you. And also, Manya, there is another news for you. My team is going to be hiring in the next couple of months. So I also want for you to explore that opportunity. That's what it means to become that star candidate. That's what it means to go for those dream level opportunities. That's what has to happen. I know you've heard me say this 100 times already, that it's not going to happen by you tweaking your resume and applying online. But I want for you to understand that that's what people do on the background without you realizing, to get those dream interviews at dream companies that seem impossible for you right now. That's what they're doing. All right, now that we got that out of the way, I just feel so passionate about it. Let's dive into the episode. So you already saw the title of this podcast, and that is Your Dream Job is Already Yours. Now, I know that you're thinking, well, Anna, what are you talking about? It's not mine. Why would I be here? Why would I be listening to this podcast if it was already mine? Well, the question that I have for you is, what if I told you that your 6-figure dream job is already done? How would you act differently if your success was guaranteed? Let me say that again. Your dream job, your dream 6-figure, I can't believe I got this. I'm so in love with this. It's done. It's guaranteed. How would you act differently today, tomorrow, if you knew that that was the case? So I first heard this idea from Tony Robbins. And he said that 80% of your success is psychology and 20% skill. And that was years ago. And that was before I did a lot of the confidence and mindset work. And definitely before I was teaching it to my clients. And I remember thinking, what in the world is he talking about? What is all of this fluff? What is this psychology that he's talking about? And if that's you, if you're someone who thinks that mindset and psychology and confidence is all fluff and all you need is to land an interview, listen up. This episode is for you. Just give me a chance. Listen to this episode. And I have a feeling that it might change your mind and you will realize how doing this work and working on the psychology and the mindset is the foundation of your success. And if you don't have this foundation, working on the skills, so your networking and personal branding and interviews, none of that matters. What I want for you to really develop is this mindset of it's done, meaning that you act and think as the version of yourself who has already achieved your dream role. So you have thoughts, habits, and actions of someone who is already at that next level. It's kind of like, have you ever heard that in order to get promoted, you need to be already doing that next level job? You don't just do what you do, your current job, and just wait to be invited to that next level. No, you need to be already showing up at work and be seen as someone who's already doing that next level work, so that for your manager and the executive team, it's a no-brainer. You're already there. They can see you there. That's what it's done mindset is. Your thoughts, habits, and actions are of that person at that 6-figure dream job level. So I want for you to ask yourself, so you'll land this dream job, someone in that next level job, what thoughts would they have? How would they show up? What actions would they take? How would they handle challenges? So, for example, let's start with thoughts. Would that be someone who is thinking, I'll do this later? This goal is not really a priority for me. Would that be someone just leisurely browsing online for what's posted and clicking on easy apply and just hoping that something sticks? Or would that be someone who has a strategy, who knows how and where to spend their time when they're job searching? Or let's say they are in that role already. Are they just leisurely doing their role? Or are they organized? They have a strategy. They have an implementation plan for that strategy. How would you want to show up at work when you have that job? Throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks? Or do you want to be someone who comes in with a plan and a strategy? Same applies to job search. Same applies to what you need to be doing right now. Would that be someone who would be hesitant to network? So for example, someone in the Star Canada coaching call said, Carmen, said, hey, I want to start networking and there is actually an internal opportunity that I'm eyeing. So I know a few people on the team and I should probably reach out to them, but I feel like that's desperate. And what I told her is that reaching out to them and meeting with them and having conversations with them proactively while you're still exploring this opportunity is not desperate. It's actually a powerful move because you're there assessing if you want to join that team, if it is the right role for you. So, someone who is at that next level, do they see networking and strategic relationship building as desperate, or they love it, they have fun with it, and they see it as a win-win? Someone in that next level opportunity, if something doesn't work out for them, so let's say you had a project, didn't go you well, you had a deadline, you didn't meet it, you didn't land a client, what happens? Are you looking back at what happened? You're learning from mistakes and you're creating a plan for what to do next. Or you're someone who is just going to have a pity party for the next week. So that's how you should be showing up right now. If something doesn't go your way, you don't get an interview or you don't get an offer, you're learning from your mistakes and you're moving forward. So when you have this it's done mindset, when you're thinking and acting as someone at that next level, you don't waste energy on something that didn't happen, didn't work, but you're actually focusing on what's next and how do we move forward. And once again, that's the person that you need to be in that next level role that you want. That's how you would want to show up, right? And once again, as with that promotion example, you will be showing up as someone who belongs, someone who should have the seat at that next level table because you know how to handle adversity and challenges and you're networking with confidence. So my question to you is, who do you need to become? What kind of person do you need to become to go to that next level? I always tell my clients that's the first thing that they learn in the very first module when they join is who before how. And when I say who before how, who do you need to become? It doesn't mean that you need to become a different person. It means what do you need to let go of? And it's all of those thoughts and fears and beliefs like, who am I to go after this role? Am I good enough? Wait, can I actually do this? Oh, wait, I don't really have the exact background, so probably I should start a little bit lower. All of that stuff you have to get rid of. You need to become that next level version of yourself first. I can't stress this enough. Another thing I want to talk about here is who you know is who you become. Let me say that again. Who you know is who you become. Who do you spend time with? Are people in your life, so your friends, your family, your coworkers, are they in the type of careers that you want in terms of they're making how much money you want to be making? They actually love what they do. They're proud of what they do. They're fulfilled. I'm not saying they're in the same industry or role that you want, but are they making as much money as you want to be making? And do they feel the way you want to feel in your career? So happy probably and fulfilled, and they love their career. Who you know is who you become. If everyone you spend your time with is complaining about the job market or complaining about how they're underpaid or is complaining about how much they hate their job, how are you going to get to that next level? Someone else on the coaching call, Vina, told me yesterday that the contract that she has right now is ending in February and multiple people within her team are being let go. And they were just told in the last couple of weeks. So the morale has been very, very low and people are just getting together and complaining. And she was talking about how that really brings her down. And we actually developed a strategy of how to remove herself from it so that she is not being brought down and she remains that next level version of herself. But my point is, she has the Start Canada program. So she has me, she has our entire community that brings her up. So who do you have in your life right now who brings you up, who helps you go to that next level? You need to be around the type of people who want what you want. Hire a coach. For the Star Canada program, we're so focused on bringing the right people in. So everyone in the room is going for the job. Everyone wants to also have the lifestyle that supports that job. So they want to be compensated equally. Everyone is working on their confidence and mindset and really wants to become that Star candidate. So you find that group or join us in the Star Canada program. But be very, very mindful of who you spend your time with. All right, how do you practice this it's done mindset? So first, I want for you to picture yourself in this next chapter, in this dream role, and ask yourself, how do I spend my time? And realistically, someone in that next level role is very intentional with their time. They plan their day, they plan their week. So, for example, with my students, we'll look at their goals, how fast they want to go with those goals, and we plan how they're going to be spending time throughout their week on job search. So, they allocate a day a week where they spend a couple of hours on interview prep way before they have interviews pretty much from day one. We put some time on their calendar to work on mindset, to look for their wins from the week, to look for their achievements. We block time every couple of days, again, depending on your goals and how much time you have to allocate to it. But we block time to network, to write content, to build your brand. So they're not just sitting down, well, what am I going to do today? Am I just going to scroll on LinkedIn? No, they're very, very intentional with their time. And I'm telling you, ask any executive, right? So we're talking about going for this next level. So it may not be an executive role yet, but ask any executive. They're all very intentional with where they spend their time and how they spend their time. And they plan it ahead of time. They plan it for next week. And they're never just starting their Monday with, oh, what do I have today? Or what do I have this week? Next question I have for you. In that dream role, how do you interact with others? So picture yourself, you land this dream role and you're walking in and you're just so excited. You did it. You're so confident. And you're probably so excited to meet your coworkers and to sit down with your boss, and you're asking all of these questions. And you're coming in with this energy of excitement and fun and learning and confidence because you did it. You're there. So what would it feel like for you to job search right now from that point of view, from that energy? It probably will be a lot easier. And the final question that I have for you is, you're in your dream role. What are you no longer stressing about? Probably bills, probably money, probably checking your phone and updates from recruiters. I see you checking your emails and waiting for that update about the interview. So if you're not stressing about any of that, imagine how much more space you would have in your life if there's no stress about that, and how much more space and energy you would have to actually now think strategically. Okay, what is it that I need to do to get to that next role, to get to that next level? So what would you no longer be stressing about? Are you kind of starting to see here what I mean when I say you need to become that person first? It's all about who you need to become rather than how to do it. Again, how to do it is important, but it's not enough without the who you need to become. Now, we talked about kind of visualizing yourself in this future role. Next, let's talk about letting go of stressful habits. So when that doubt creeps in, so let's say you get that email from that recruiter saying that they're not moving forward and you start doubting yourself immediately and start spiraling. I want for you to pause in that moment and ask yourself, what would the 6-figure version of me do right now? Would that version of me stress about it, spiral right now, or take intentional action? So reflect on what didn't work out, learn from it, and move forward. So we're letting go of those stressful habits. And number 3 here is, what would the future version of you do? For example, again, if you are in that next level, more senior, more challenging 6-level dream job, what would you be doing? Let's go back to the networking example. Would you be networking as a job seeker? Or would you be having those conversations as a leader, as an equal? Would you be networking from the perspective of, let's see what I can learn. Let's see what I can do for them. Let's see if this can be mutually beneficial. You probably wouldn't go into the networking conversation or interviews with stress because you are that next level version of you already. And with what the future version of you would do, another point here is how you look at failure. because failure is not an option anymore. And not from that toxic, oh, I gotta work so hard. Failure is not an option. I gotta grind, work so hard. No, failure is not an option from the perspective of there's no such thing as failure. Failure is just a data point. When you get to the point of your life where you look at failure as a data point, you've you've mastered it. It's so hard to see failure as a data point. But the most successful people look at failure that way. The CEO of the company that you work at is not stressing about a marketing campaign that failed or a hire that they had that didn't work out or someone crucial, a VP left their role and now they have to look for a replacement, or maybe sales are underperforming. They're not looking at it as a failure. They're looking at it as a data point. Okay, well, sales are down this quarter. What does that mean? What is happening on the market? What is happening with our marketing and our product and our teams and our sales? What do we need to change to make up for it in the next quarter? Can you start thinking about your career and your job search right now that way? Failure is not an option, it's just a data point. All right, here's some practical tools for you that you can start using today, tomorrow. So, number one is your morning routine. I know, everyone talks about their morning routine, but realistically, most of us are not very intentional with our mornings. We get up, we check our phones, we check our emails, we check social media, and you let the world in before you have decided for yourself what you want for this day to be like and how you want to feel. I have shared this before on the podcast, but I have a set of affirmations. So they're not just affirmations of, hey, I have this or I have achieved this, but rather they're positioned as questions. So, how do I already live my dream life? Whatever that looks like for you, but it has to be intentional and you saying what you already have and what you already have achieved. So, you're starting your day from that place of abundance rather than lack or you haven't achieved yet. And the second thing I want for you to think about is looking at job search as let me set some non-negotiables for myself, and not non-negotiables from the perspective of this is what I want for my job to look like. That's important too. But specifically, what actions are non-negotiable? Because yes, everything we're talking about is important, but you still need to take action. So what actions are non-negotiable? So that can be networking and reaching out to a certain number of people every single week. It can be having a certain number of networking conversations every single month. That can be posting on LinkedIn. That can be up leveling your LinkedIn profile. That can be allocating a couple of hours a week to interview prep. So, what are your non negotiables that you're doing every single week? The rest, you're just having fun. In fact, your job is to fall in love with the process because you will always be working towards something. There will always be another goal. Once you land this role, the next goal will be promotion or getting married or starting a family or buying a house. You will continue to work towards something. And that's good because that keeps us going, that keeps us growing, that keeps us moving. So that's good. But there will always be something. So you'll never be happy unless you fall in love with the process. So start thinking about it this way. I need to fall in love with this process of looking for a job. I know it sounds strange, but this is never going to end. Not the job search part, but the process part. So what are your non-negotiables? The rest, your job is to have fun. So, my friends, to wrap up this episode, I have one final question for you. And really, it's more of an action step. I want for you to identify one stressful habit that you want to let go of and one action that you want to start doing. And I want for you to ask yourself every single night for the next week, let's start building this habit. Put a reminder on your phone with this prompt and set it for, I don't know what time you go to sleep. I go to sleep pretty early. So let's say 10 p.m. What evidence do I have today that my goals are already done? And what's going to happen every single day? You'll start looking for proof that you're moving forward, that you are in that next level role. So you'll start showing up as someone who you need to become. That's the first step to actually landing this role. All right, my friend, I am so curious how this episode resonated with you. As always, send me a message on Instagram, send me a message on LinkedIn, Both are linked in the show notes below. And let me know. I love hearing back from you. I love hearing that you keep going back to some episodes and listening to them a couple of times because they just resonate so much. I know this episode is a little bit different, but you also know, if you've been around my world, that I love talking about mindset and confidence because I see it with myself in my own journey. I see it with my clients, how life-changing it is. So let me know what habit you're letting go of and what action you want to start this week. All right. I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.